Today we're going to look at how you can convert from standard form into vertex form. Recall if you want to find the vertex in your in standard form, we're using our little negative b over 2a equation to find out what your a, b, and c values are here. And then you plug in your b value and your a value. Here we get positive 1 over 2 or 1/2. So that's the x value of your vertex. If you want to find the y value, now you're plugging that back in. So you're taking that value of 1/2 now and plugging it in for all the x's in the equation and figuring out what that equals. On this one, that would be 1/4, because if you square both the top and bottom, you get 1/4 minus 1/2 minus 12. Doing that, you could use your calculator to figure it out. We got 1/4 minus 1/2 minus 12, and we get the negative 2.25. And so now we have the y value here of negative 12.25. Okay, so now we got the vertex of this one. If the function is in vertex form, as this one, and this is vertex form, then remember this is like that h and k values here, where hk is the vertex, and so the vertex on this one would be at 4, 2. So vertex form, obviously a lot easier to find the value. All right, so we're going to try some of these out here, seeing if we can figure out and figure out what the vertex form is. So like we did on the last one here, what we want to do is use that little equation, negative b over 2a here, plug in our a and b values here. So we're going to end up with opposite of 6 over 2 times 1. So negative 6 divided by 2 is going to be negative 3. So that's going to be the x value of this vertex. Now we want to find what's that y value, so plug that back in and see what you get. So if we put negative 3 back in here, we're going to get positive 9 minus 18 minus 8, which is going to give us negative 17. So that's our y value of the vertex. But that's not vertex form yet. Vertex form, we got it close, but we still got to put that a value in as well. But we know the a value is right here. It's 1. So now in vertex form, this would be 1 times x minus our h value here would be negative 3 squared plus our k value, and our k value here would be negative 17. So just writing this a little nicer here, we can double slash, make that positive. You don't necessarily have to write that 1, and then we know plus and negative is the same as minus, and so you got y equals x plus 3 squared minus 17. And that would be the vertex form then of this equation. All right. Next one, same thing. They want us to, again, convert into vertex form. Again, let's use our negative b over 2a. So here our b is negative 5 over 2 times our a is 1. So here we get 5/2. So 5/2. We're coming up with our vertex. That's our x value. Let's plug that back in. This would be one probably using calculator is going to be a little bit easier. So we'll write it out first, and then we'll use calculator here. So you can pretty much type it in exactly how it looks there on the board. 5/2 squared minus 5 times 5/2 again plus 2. And if you hit enter, it'll give you that value, negative 4.25. If we'd want to write this one as a fraction too, how you can do that would be to, if you hit math, enter, and then hit enter again on that fraction, you can see that it's also the same as negative 17 fourths. Okay, so that's our vertex. Remember, we do want that a value again, and here our a is 1 because that's the number in front here. So now for vertex form, we got y equals 1, x minus 5 halves squared plus negative 17 fourths, or minus 17 fourths. And then just, again, writing it a little nicer, we get this. So that would be vertex form of that equation. All right, the next one here now, when we're doing this one, now our a is not 1, it's 2 here. So we got an a of 2, a b of negative 4, and a c of negative 10. So when we're putting it into our opposite of b over 2a equation, we're going to get opposite of negative 4 over 2 times 2. So that's positive 4 over positive 4, or 1. So our vertex now is going to be 1 something. Let's plug 1 back in. So if we plug 1 back into this, see what we get. Remember, you got to square first here. So 1 squared is 1 times 2 would be 2. 4 times 1 is 4 minus 10. So it looks like this is going to come out to be negative 12. So now we got our vertex. Now we just want to write that out in the vertex form. So when we're writing it out here, this time our a is 2, x minus 1 squared plus negative 12. And so this one, I usually don't write as plus a negative, so it'd just be y equals 2 times x minus 1 squared minus 12. And that would be the vertex form of this equation. All right, for this last one, why don't you pause the video, try this one out on your own, and we'll check it. All right, let's see what you got. You got a of 3, b of 7, c of 2. Putting that into our opposite of b over 2a equation means you're going to get negative 7, 6 as your x value. Plug that back in for all the x's now into your equation, and it should look like what we got here. That's probably one you want to use calculator on. So I've entered exactly how we have it there. Hit enter, and you can see you get this. Fraction is going to be better on this one, so let's change that to a fraction by hitting the math button and then and then hit enter again. So it looks like we get negative 25 over 12. So now that is our y value for our vertex. And so now to write it in vertex form here, that's our same one we've been using on all these other ones. Our a value is 3 from before. We got minus negative 7, 6 plus negative 25 twelfths. And so final answer here would look like this. So if you add this, nice job here. So that would be our final vertex form. All right, you're going to now be trying some of these on your own.